So, hello. This is going to be like a trial run of this stuff. So, I'm really just trying this stuff out here, but I'm going to read Do Your Worst, 'Cause Nothing Can Stop Me Now on Archive of Our Own by -4IQ. The summary is, everyone does what I say, and no one gets hurt, he growls. He points a gun at the employee. A robber. An actual real-life robber. At 4 a.m. in a random subway. The employee nods her head, shaking as she reaches for the register. The store is deadly silent. Lance giggles. Or, all Hunk wanted to do was sleep. Unfortunately, his roommate is his best friend. So, who is the most unhinged person on campus. In the world, really. Lance laughed first. In fact, this whole thing had been Lance's idea. To no one's shock, he should get 100% of the blame. All of it. Well, maybe not all of it. Maybe the actual robber gets like 1% or 2%. But Lance started it, as always. And I It hadn't been too unusual in the beginning. Lance woke him up at random times at night, all the time. It was his favorite thing to do, really. So Hunk didn't really put much thought into it when it happened. Hunk, 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 hunky bear! Light of my life, bestie, Hunk, get up, please. He makes sure to groan as loudly as possible. So there's an off chance that Lance feels guilty for waking him up. It's beyond unlikely, but Hunk likes to make himself clear. And he is currently annoyed at Lance, and Lance will be hearing about it. And I'm making so many mistakes. Sorry, guys. I want you to know that I love you dearly, Lance says, and Hunk opens his eyes just to glare at him. If you love me, you'll let me sleep. I did. I let you sleep for 5 whole hours. But I just beat Red Dead Redemption 2 times, read 1.5 books. The second one was real boring, which is a shame, and climbed onto the bed to flip off of the ceiling more times than I can count. There's literally nothing more I can do in this room, and I need to do something. And you're the one who said I'm not allowed to leave past 10:30. You could sleep, you walking menace. But Hunk, said Lance said, and he pouted. He makes his already big eyes even bigger, brown irises looking sad and pitiful, and Hunk, like usual, relents. You're the best! Lance cheers as Hunk peels back the covers and rolls off his horrible bottom bunk of his horrible university-issued mattress. You're a great pain in the butt, Hunk says as he walks over to the dresser. He hears a muffled bang and looks over just in time to see Lance do a backflip off the top bunk and land on a heap on the floor. Hunk sighs. Are you dead? Nope, Lance said cheerfully. He scrambles back up and starts literally bouncing around, just like hopping. Hunk grins, despite himself. Lance is like a husky. He needs to be walked, and sometimes, just to let out all of his energy. I cannot speak. And unfortunately, sometimes he needs to be walked at 3 a.m. Too early. The second Hunk shrugs on a sweater. Long fingers grip the end of his sleeves and start dragging him out the door. So I've already texted everyone else, Lance says. Everyone but Shiro was awake. So Keith bugged him until he woke up. Now we're going to Subway, because they're open, and I'm hungry, and I don't want to make food for myself. Hunk hums. Are we sure Keith is still alive? Shiro is usually homicidal when he wakes up. Oh, don't worry, Keith. Keith was prepared. He brought the shield you made him in your woodworking class. He's alive. Nice. Cool to hear that thing get some use. Yeah, totally. Keith uses it all the time. Yesterday he launched me off of it. It was dope. I'm hearing a lot about Lance, Hunk said. Just to be a prick. It had the expected effect. Lance goes bright red and also speechless, making a lot of squawking noises with the occasional, "What? I didn't even," and "Are you crazy?" sprinkled in between. It's great. I talk about Keith a normal amount, Lance says, eventually, voice firm but eyes averted. I'm hearing a bit of toot in that, buddy. Fascinating that. You are the meanest best friend in the world. Well, in that case, Hunk pretended to turn around, making Lance yelp. No, I take it back. I love you. Please come with me. Hunk's still amusing himself. I don't know, he says, tapping his chin. You called me the meanest. I don't know if I can recover from such rich betrayal. Hunk, I am joking. You are the bestest friend, the light of my life, see? Lance presses a disgustingly wet and smacking kiss to his cheek, making a loud "mwah" noise. See? Love you. Ew, Lance, Hunk says, wiping the slobber from his cheek. Lance grins sunnily at him. They continue to bicker and tease each other until they finally make it to the brightly illuminated 24-hour subway on campus. Pidge is already there, because Pidge is not of this realm and does not seem to need time to transport herself places. She simply arrives. You losers took forever, she says as they sit down. Pidge, I asked you if you wanted to come 15 minutes ago, and you live 20 minutes away from campus. I don't even know how you're here. Pidge shrugs. Time isn't real, she responds. Hunk and Lance both decide not to push it. The three of them chat. By chat, Hunk means they take turns roasting each other. Until the rest of the group arrives. Hunk would like to note that Alora walks in with looking elegant and unbothered, as per usual, and Shiro walks in holding a grouchy and scowling Hunk by the ankle, Big Hero 6 style. Lance sighs dreamily the second he catches sight of their mulleted friend. He puts his chin in his hands and everything, like the gay loser he is. Pidge and Hunk exchange a look, and decide to tease him for it later. Did Keith do anything? Pidge asks. Annoying. Shiro responds simply, and Hunk nods. If only Lance was significantly shorter than him. Hunk would do the same. Once Shiro sits, Reed drops Keith down, they all line up and order their sandwiches. They take turns making fun of Shiro for the abundance of sauces. Then they all pile on Keith, not Lance, for his choice of extra cheese, despite the fact he did not bring his lactaid, because he never remembered to bring it to places, even once in his life. Once they all got their food, they push 2 tables together and sit down, trying not to be too obnoxious, but spending most of their energy simply enjoying themselves, joking and teasing and chatting, and having an all-around good time. At one point, Alora devolves into a 10-minute rant about some idiot in her anatomy class. Yikes. Okay, I just got dumped a cat, so Yeah. Well, let's get her untangled. So, I just got dumped a cat. Where was I? To chatting, and they all dunk on him. It's great. Super great. He's literally the biggest fool I've ever met. He tried to correct the professor about the color of human blood. The door in the restaurant opens with a bang, startling everyone in the restaurant, the one employee included. Hunk's heart drops as soon as he sees who slammed the door. Because the man literally, the worst case scenario come true. Everyone do what I say and no one gets hurt. He growls. He points the gun at the employee, a robber, an actual real-life robber. 'Cause of course. At 4 a.m, in a random subway. The employee nods her head, shaking as she reaches for the register. The store is dead silent. Lance giggles. The robber whips around to face him, icy glare evident even through his black mask. "Hey, what are you laughing at?" he screams. He points his gun at the table. Lance starts to really laugh. "Lance, you need to shut up," Keith hisses. "I'm sorry." Lance gasps and presses his hands to his mouth, desperately trying to muffle himself, but he can't quite manage. "Dude, I'm so sorry. I can't." Hunk realizes. "Cat, where are you?" Are you on the... Well, I lost my cat. Anyways. Hunk realizes that Lance is talking to the robber, and not Keith like he originally thought. "Are you really wearing a black ski mask? Like, that was a real-life choice you made? With your university hoodie and Lululemon leggings, you decided that you couldn't rob a store without shoving on the mask?" Pidge was the next to crack up. She bites her lip and hangs her head, but her shoulders shake. She's laughing just as hard as Lance. "I am pointing a gun at you!" the robber shouts. "Don't laugh at me!" I'm really trying here. It's not working. The robber voice cracks as he speaks the last sentence. Hunk is scared out of his mind. Seriously, but he couldn't quite... Oh, sorry. He couldn't quite imagine trying to threaten someone and having his voice crack. He looked at Keith. Keith's lips twitch. The rest of the group devolves into giggles. "Stop laughing!" the robber roars. It just makes everyone laugh harder. It's just, there's something so absurd about the whole situation. Lance is always joking that no one sleeps at sleepovers because everything is so funny at 4 a.m. And he's right, even their potential murder is just, it's funny. It's worth the giggle. Totes. Don't mess with the cords. Or the walls. I know they're all fabric, but don't mess with them. The robber stomps his foot. He's furious. But he's also visibly confused. He faces a group of random young adults who refuse to take him seriously, and an employee who's already left the store, leaving the register locked. He was armed, nameless. He definitely had the upper hand at the beginning of this ordeal, but he's undeniably losing now. Shiro's gasps. Tears are streaming down his face. Oh my. The voice crack. Oh, I'm being loud. Sorry if I am. Sino Mian, what are you doing? Do you want out? No? Oh, yeah. You want out? Alright, sorry. Cat interruption. Yep. This sets everyone off again. Alora pounds her fists on the table, laughing so hard she can barely breathe. Keith and Lance are leaning over each other. Leaning on each other, not over. Sorry. Too weak to hold themselves up. Every time any one of them looks at each other, they laugh harder. It's worse if they look at the robber, who's completely lowered his gun and is staring at them in complete bewilderment. "I give up," he says, which makes Hunk snort so hard it hurts. A little. You people are so weird. I'll come back tomorrow, I guess. Cringe, fail, robber. Lance chokes out and Pidge wheezes. The robber stomps out of the store. They laugh until the police arrive, and none of them can give their statements with a straight face. Okay, so that was the end of this one shot. Do your worst, because nothing could stop me now. -4 IQ. Yeah. This was indeed a Voltron fanfic. I don't know why I didn't say that at the beginning. Sorry. If the author reaches out, I will delete this video because it's her thing and not mine. So, just a warning there. Goodbye.